Hello everyone, it's Nancy here and it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I spent the day planting, so I had to come in and take a shower and make sure I didn't have any ticks on me. My favorite bug, not. And I've been thinking about doing this and I wanted to make a short video, hopefully this will be short, about my journaling process, especially through these last a little over 2 months of grief that I've been going through. As you know, I lost my husband on March 25th. He was a quadriplegic, and before that he had rheumatoid arthritis. So for the first 7 years I knew him, he could still walk about 10 feet, but basically he rode in a scooter, and he could take care of his physical needs, and as far as bathing and shaving, and he could even cook a little bit depending on how the stove was situated, for reaching and turning on the stove. But our stove was not appropriate for him. So he had to suffer through my cooking for the whole time. Anyway, in 2006, his rheumatoid arthritis encroached. It deforms your bones, and just like arthritis does, it deforms your bones. And I believe that the famous artist Renoir had rheumatoid arthritis because of the way he talks about his hands being all crippled up, and he had a hard time walking. Anyway, his rheumatoid arthritis made his spinal column go against his spinal cord, and the bones ended up disintegrating and breaking and causing him to be a quadriplegic. Because of the spinal cord was bruised, he did regain some feeling in his legs, but it was real spotty. Like sometimes he could feel me touching him, and other places he could not. Also, his hands always had this feeling of tingling, like when your hands, or you lay on your hand and it goes to sleep, or you lay on your foot and goes to sleep, and you get that funny pins and needles thing. Well, he had that all the time. So writing was almost impossible by the end of his life, and then he had to give up taking pictures because he couldn't grip the camera anymore, or know where the shutter was to punch, take the camera picture. So over the years from 2006 to the present day, I had to do a lot more caregiving to him to help him through his daily life, and that was fine. But now, after he's gone, I'm filled with, so we were together all the time, and we would have been together anyway because both of us were of a like mind, and we both were artistic, and both had had passions to follow our muse. And he spoiled me rotten. And I hope I spoiled him rotten too. But we spent a lot of time together. And living up in the Northwoods, half an hour away from a grocery store, I usually brought him along once we got a car that had a handicapped accessibility. And so we were like, Chip and Dale, two peas in a pod all the time. We were together. We never got sick of each other, always had conversation. The first time I ever talked to him on the phone was we stayed up all night and talked on the phone. It was dawn before we hung up. So we were just like two teenagers. So we just had this wonderful, beautiful connection. We loved each other very, very much. And now I'm left with a lot of time on my hands because, number one, I can't talk to him anymore. I'm not taking care of him anymore. So what do I do? Well, I have decided I work a lot in my Hobonichi. I do this every day, or I try to. And for most part, except for around the time of the funeral, when I had a lot of company here, I was kind of behind. But for the most part, I like to keep my Hobonichi a little bit light. And I know that in the last 2 months it hasn't really been that way. But I like to keep kind of like a little snippets of positive things during the day or what I did. Sometimes it's not even important. Like, okay, how many times have you guys seen me that I watch General Hospital? Okay, you know, I mean, everybody knows I do it. Everybody knows I love Barry Manilow. But I still like to record those types of little things in my Hobonichi. I can't really get real deep, and I don't want to get real deep thoughts and write. So I have to have some other thing. So I didn't know what that was going to be. So I've got my little baby Hobonichi that I was using in the start as a habits tracker, which has worked out very well. And I wanted to try to just use the Hobonichi for, you know, to see if I wanted a big one next year after my Hobonichi is done. And I've, you know, it was playing around with it, decorating it, putting in appointments and things, using it semi as a planner. But once you decorate it and all that, all the planning really gets lost to me. I need it, you know, like out there so that I can see what I'm supposed to be doing. So I don't know. You know, I think that the weeks portion of the Hobonichi, you know, where they have the every week illicit, I think I'm going to put that, use that as my planner next year, and the main calendar, and do all my decorating on the regular pages. Anyway, back to my journaling issues. So then I decided to use this as a weight loss thing. I made the decision to get healthier, you know, before Bob got really, really sick. And I thought, well, I'm just like a little kid. Every day that I was in my points, I gave myself a star, and I didn't, you know, do anything when he was in the hospital. And I didn't do anything for this whole month. I mean, I stayed on my points. I've lost 17 pounds in the last 2 months, which isn't a whole lot, but considering I have mobility issues and I can't exercise very well, I think that is fantastic. So I'm real happy about my Weight Watchers. I'm keeping track of my points every day on my cell phone and making sure that I, you know, enter those things in. But I give myself a little star. This month, I actually remembered to give myself a star, so it's almost all, you know, I had a couple of bad days, and then bad days when I was traveling down to Milwaukee, and I was eating my way through the weekend, but I hadn't been to a Mexican restaurant in 8 years, so I figured I was due. So that's what I have been using this portion of it. And then I have been putting little snippets of what I was doing on those particular days, or what I have to do, go to the skin doctor, paint out our anniversary weekend. So when I first got this, I thought, well, I'll do a little summary of every day, decorate it, put pretty things on, just to see if I was going to like the big, regular cousin size Hobonichi, and I tried to do a little bit of drawings, and I picked out the word of the year, which is more of a 4-letter word at this point. Well, it is looking up, but it still totally sucks. Anyway, I decided to, since I was really trying hard for the Weight Watchers thing, I decided to, let's see, when did I decide to do that? Oh boy. It was way into the year already. Okay, February, right after Valentine's Day. I made him lasagna. And that was actually the last meal he actually ate, a whole meal. So I started writing down my things, and then I thought, well, if I eat bad foods, I'm gonna, maybe that'll get me motivated. So I was putting, stickers on that had bad foods when I went to bad food places, and I just started doing that, and I thought that was, a good idea, because then it really made me think about what I was eating if I had to write it down. A lot of times when you're putting it on the phone, you just click, 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 and then it's over with. But then here, if I'm saying I ate, 2 Little Debbies for 11 points, okay, well, what makes me own up to it a little bit. March, I was doing okay with writing down my points. But, when I took Bob to the hospital, that was it for that. I did bring my Hobonichi to the hospital with me, and I kind of wrote down a little bit of what was going on. But I guess I didn't, not really. Okay, I kind of clipped these pages together because I don't really want to relive that time right now. So then, on the 2nd of April, I had Bob's funeral, and so I started to write down what I was doing, and then I started writing to him, and I was saying how much I missed him, and I hoped that he liked his service, and I thought, well, gee, if I use this as, to write down the things that I would have told him, here I got some more points. But I guess I started this on the 7th. I started writing down to Bob and telling him how I was feeling, knowing that, he doesn't want me to feel bad, but I don't see how I'm going to get around that. But, I just poured my heart out to him like I used to do on a daily basis. And about how I was feeling, timelines, 2 weeks since he's gone. And I feel that has really helped me, at least, to be able to sit up there. It's almost like I'm writing him a love letter every single day, even though that he will never read it. And also another thing, ever since September 10th of 1999, we have told each other we loved each other every single night before we went to bed. So I started doing that. I started saying, I love you and I miss you. And so that's kind of helped with the grief process. But I just write a little, it only gives me a short little time, so I can't really dwell on a whole lot of stuff. And, about what I'm feeling. And so this has really helped me. And every day I've been writing him a little love letter. Just 1 page, what I'm doing or what I'm feeling, mostly what I'm feeling. It's almost just like, I'm waiting for him to come home. How I've been acting around here. I used to have a table right next to the couch that he would sit next to, and it had his water glass on it, the book he was reading, his ebook reader, and a few other things like a rubber thumb so he could, turn pages of things easier. Anyway, I hadn't cleaned it off until last week. His water glass was still there. And I'm like, I gotta, keep on going. I don't know. I'm just nuts, I guess. But, I think that this has really helped me a lot. Because then I could just sit down in the morning with my coffee and sit there and tell him what I'm going to do, or how I felt last night, or, did I get any sleep, or, oh, you should have seen this bird. And, this just really has been a good vehicle for me. Then my last thing of journaling that I have is by Midori, and I really love this thing. And the first book I have in here are different, like all sorts of things. When I took a class online, I had notes for that. If I see something on Pinterest, 18 Rules of Happiness, I get that. I put different poems in it. Just different things like that. But that's really not journaling. But I just wanted to show you that. And I'm calling it my Commonplace book. So it's for something that I would like to I'm going to put a index here of what it all is so that I can easily find something or like the notes from online schools and things like that. So then I also have the journal, and I have the really thin paper. I think it's number 13. Yeah, 13. And I really love this paper. Oh, it's just gorgeous. And I go further in my grief in this book. I write down exactly how I'm feeling that I wouldn't want anybody else to know. Isn't that pretty? He gave me that that it's like an antique-ish type of red. It's called Bordeaux ink from Monteverdi. He gave that to me for Christmas. And like I said, I was very spoiled. So, I write down a lot of how I'm feeling and, how I'm waiting for him to come home. And I really believe that instead of sitting here crying, that I'm spending my time, writing number one with beautiful pen that he bought me and ink that he bought me, and I'm talking to someone and I'm pouring my heart out at this point. And I think that is a very a good thing for me to do. And sometimes I don't have that much to say, or I can't say anything. And then other times I don't do this on a daily basis. I just do it when I feel like I gotta get out something. And I really think that has, if you're going through a tough time, just sit down and write about anything. It doesn't even matter if it's about what you're going through. It's the act of writing itself is, putting things into place for you and, getting things straight in your head. And I do believe that it is a wonderful, wonderful therapy. And so this takes time, and I'm writing with my beautiful pen, and so it kind of takes the place of when I was talking to Bob a lot, and so that's really all I wanted to share. And I got this little, it's not really a pencil board, but this was at It All in One Place by Ray Blake, that website, and I'm sure everybody's familiar with it. If not, I'm going to link a link below. And you can print this off, and I printed it off on cardstock. One side has small lines, and the other side has big lines, and then it shows you where the middle of your page is, and then like if you wanted to have margins, you know, you can make them or not have any margins at all. I tend to not even use margins. I go all, if I'm trying to write something, I go all the way to the edge, the middle, so you can write a title. And so it's kind of nice, and you can see it through your page, so that you can write, you know, fairly straight. And I really enjoy that. And so then what I did with that was that I got some kind of crap in the mail that had this plastic envelope around it, and so I just cut it and slid this in and taped it shut, just like an envelope. So this side was already sealed, this side was sealed, this side was sealed, but this part was like longer. And so I just cut it. I think you could cut it down, same thing with a page protector. That's all it is. And since I printed it on cardstock, 2 pieces of cardstock together, it's almost like a nice little pencil board. It's not as thick as a laminated piece, but it does its job, and it was just the same, you know, the right size for a Midori. So that's what I like. And I also enjoy, you know, finding little bits and pieces of stamps that I get in the mail and stick them on here, plus, you know, different old looking pictures and stuff, just different stuff, and putting it on there. And then when I finish it, I'll put the dates on there and put it in there. You know, file it with all the rest of my journals. But I just wanted to share that with everyone, and I really encourage everyone to do writing, if in whatever you want, a composition book, a theme book, any type of book that you can keep all together, because sometimes you might want to reread some of the things. Other times you might just want to throw the whole dang thing away. But you know, I wish I wouldn't have done that for a lot of my journals. I would throw them away, but when I was done with them, because it's a nice thing to keep for years to come. So, next video I'm going to do is my Hobonichi flip for the month of May, and I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.